In this video, you'll finally get to see the Haven Hollow storybook pages that are now available if you'd like to start collecting them. Thank you for your support here and on Patreon. I've been meaning to tell you a bit of a darker story for a while now. I think today's the day.
Hello! You're just in time. Come on in. I was just about to make a latte. You like cinnamon.
In my other videos, this is the part where I would typically share a personal experience as an introduction to the video topic. But seeing as today's topic is darkness, and I'd like to touch on the topic without making the video seem too dark, I think I'll share some of those more personal things in a future video, and let today's story speak for itself. So today I'm finally going to tell you the story of how Haven Hollow came to be. I know, it's about time.
In order to fully experience this story, we need to go back quite a few years to a little town tucked away high in the mountains.
If you were to fly way up in the sky with the birds, or float on a cozy cloud above this town, you'd notice that at exactly 6 o'clock every evening, the bustling little city quickly quiets down and the townsfolk go inside with a collective bang as they lock up their doors, followed by a hush of darkness that cloaks the silence of the streets, and evening begins. When you drift closer to the town, you notice one little cottage on the outskirts near the trees, and one little candle held by one little girl in one little window peering out. The little girl's name is Leah, short for Azalea.
You might have met her. She goes by Granny Leah these days.
And every night at 6 o'clock, as the rest of the town closed their doors and curtains, Leah likes to look out and watch the sun fall behind the trees, quietly wondering about the darkness. See, this town is known for saying things like,
Stay close to things that feel like sunshine.
and that they did. The townsfolk never ventured into the darkness and always got home before nightfall. Darkness is scary, too many unknowns, they say.
Yeah, or don't worry, there's always sun after the rain.
But Leah likes the rain. And honestly, it's a bit of a stretch to say she's ever actually felt like sunshine herself. She feels more like the glow that comes from the crackling fire she helps her parents build on those cold Christmassy days, or the soft dancing flames of her favorite candles. She has nothing against sunshine, it's just always felt a bit too bright for her to relate to.
The cat got the paper towel roll.
Despite this strict ordinance to never go out past nightfall, Leah never felt that fear of the night that the other villagers had. No one ever explains what's so bad about the darkness. After all, they just tell her to smile more and focus on bright and happy things. As Leah looks out the window on this particular night, she does in fact notice something bright, far off through a little clearing in the trees. She looks behind her, her family in the other room talking at the table. She peers back out the window. The glimmer past the trees is still there. Quietly, she lets the curtain fall over the window, slips silently past the chatter-filled table, expertly avoids the creaky spots on the floor, and carefully unlocks the back door. Leah steps through the back door, a candle in her hand, curiosity in her heart, and cold grass gliding under her bare feet as she makes her way across the yard and out to the light in the trees. Somewhere deep in her heart is a courage she's never felt before, and a sense of unknown she's never experienced. She always knows what to expect in the daylight, and as she nears the trees, she slows her pace and takes in the darkened surroundings she's so familiar with in the daytime. The colors of the trees are dimmed, the air crisp, and the usual sounds of singing birds and scurrying squirrels has been replaced with cricket chirps and owl calls. If the daytime has a buzzing energy, in comparison, the night feels more like a hum. And above her, where the sunshine usually shines brightly, there's a golden moon and the stars that are blocked by the trees from her normal window view. They're like little fairies glowing all over the sky, and she's really not understanding this whole night is bad thing. As Leah draws closer to the light, she notices it's coming from a small patch of flowers. A few steps closer, and even more glowing flowers come into view. They're the same flowers she likes to pick in the day, but it must be too bright to see them glowing in the daylight. It seems that it's here in the darkness that the light shines its brightest. She follows the glowing flowers until she reaches a whole clearing of them that leads her to a small, glistening portal of leaves just her size.
And you know I wouldn't be telling you this story if she just comes all this way to go back home. Of course she goes through the portal.
So she gently approaches the portal. It seems to have that same warm glow as the fireplace and the candles. And she takes an excited step forward as she's fully encompassed by the warm glow. Through the portal, Leah's surroundings slowly come into view. It's a village similar to her little town. There's a big clock tower near the entrance to what appears to be the town center. It's just a little past 5 here. The sun is shining, but it's started its ascent lower in the sky. Somewhere between the buzz of the day sounds and the hum of the night is a faint flapping of fairy wings. And despite the looming nightfall, her heart feels light here. Leah explores the village and befriends villagers as she takes in the magic of her newfound escape. The portals to the village are always open, but the soft glow doesn't shine too brightly in the daylight to really take notice. It seems we don't often seek an escape when life feels bright and sunny and safe. Those little glimmers and glistens go unnoticed. But in each of their own quiet and seemingly dark moments, when they began to question, rather than fear, the sometimes dark realities of life, the villagers all had their own stories of finding their way here to the magical refuge that they call Haven Hollow. As the clock tower turns to 6, the bustle of the hollow continues to bustle. Fairy wings glow brighter, the moon reflects off the water in the pond, and the older man who runs the bakery invites everyone over to see the new lights he had hung over the outdoor patio. He had been waiting all day to turn them on, and nightfall was finally here for his cozy light reveal. And cozy it is.
Especially because he's serving those little chocolate brownie cupcake things. They seem to be his specialty.
In addition to the bakery, which was described to Leah as the place to go when you're in need of a hug, the village has a coffee shop where the fairy magic is suitable for the days you need a pick-me-up, and an enchanted forest where it's best to wander when you're making a decision or facing unknowns. The ancient trees can help you find answers there. The meadow has a certain fairy magic that lets your spirit feel free and reminds you to breathe. Oh, and the siren magic at the waterfall is helpful if you're ever in need of a friend. Now, the hollow was too big to explore in one night, so Leah did return home and slipped quietly and safely back inside. And as she grew older, she returned to Haven Hollow and continued to explore its welcoming magic. Of course, she eventually fell in love with Alvin, the village alchemist, and they built a cozy cottage on the hill. They watched over the years as the villagers discovered new creatures in the forest. Some pirates found their way to the shores, and the fairies sprinkled their magic on every inch of its grounds. Leah opened a flower and apothecary shop, specializing in the glowing flowers she had learned to cultivate, and she shares her green magic and wisdom with all who visit the Hollow. Though a bit hidden, Haven Hollow really is open to anyone in search of a cozy place to explore life without that blanket of fear that we sometimes experience here in the real world. And perhaps on one of your dark days, you'll happen upon the portal yourself and enter its glowing light and find refuge among the magic and the fairies. The fairies love when you visit, and Granny Leah always has a potion brewing to share.